So here's my demonstration windscreen. It's off of a KLR 650, and what you'll see is that there is a drilling template sticker. Now this sticker has a few nice features about it. If you flex it, the backing will come off of the center portion, but it'll leave the backing on the ends. So you can hold it from the ends, and you're going to want to place that down on the center line of the screen and then wiggle it outwards. For the purposes of this, demonstration, I've already placed the sticker on here. But you'll have to wiggle it down, and once it's on there, you want to make sure that the reference points that are at the corners of the sticker look like they're at approximately the exact same location on both sides of the windscreen. You'll also notice a ruler marking that marks off individual millimeters, and what you want is the same measurement on both sides. That means that this sticker is centered on your original windshield. You'll want to put this as high as you possibly can on your original windshield to get the maximum effect. As long as you can get the whole sticker on here, you'll have a strong mounting position. So, for demonstration purposes, I've already drilled the 2 holes on this left side. What you're going to want to use to drill the holes is not a spiral bit. Spiral bits have some problems when you're working with plastic. They'll tend to push their way in and crack the plastic. Instead, what we recommend doing, now I'm going to contradict myself, is to take a little tiny spiral bit and use your fingers to create a pilot divot, and then use what's called a step bit to drill a hole. This will give you much more predictable results in plastic. So we take the little spiral and we look at the little crosshairs. Those are going to be the 2 holes we need to do. Use the smallest bit you can for this, and you just do a couple little spins, and that'll give you a nice little divot that'll be just big enough to hold the tip of your step bit. Doesn't really matter what size that pilot bit is. Next, you're going to take your step bit. Now, the instructions say to use a 6mm diameter drill. You can use a 1/4 inch drill. A 1/4 inch is about 6.3 millimeters. It's close enough for this installation. So we're going to use a variable speed drill. When you're drilling in plastic, you're going to want to select the lowest possible speed and the lowest possible torque. This setting will either go from super drill all the way through everything torque down to super low torque. Low torque just means that you'll be less likely to fracture your original windscreen. All right, so we're ready to go. And plastic, you always want to go low speed, low heat, low torque. So on this first hole, I'm going to very carefully line that up until I can feel the tip of the drill bit in that pilot hole I made. And this is going to be much easier if you leave the screen on your bike. I'm only doing this off the bike for demonstration, but you really need this to be solid and not moving. So we're going to start this off. Okay, so we have a nice clean hole there. Now we're going to do the second one. As I said, it's much easier to do this if you leave the screen on your bike. It'll stay in place for you. Don't drill into your hand, that's bad too. Okay. We'll just pick off little pieces here. Now those two drill bits are not included in the kit, so you'll have to find those before you do the install. So next step is to take this backing piece and place it on the inner side of your original screen. And we'll take the hardware out of this bag so that we can bolt the front piece onto it. So in this hardware bag, I'll get this out of the way here. You've got two longer screws. These are for putting the hinges onto here after everything's on the screen. Then you have a bunch of press nuts. So what we're going to do with these little press nuts here, it's not a normal looking nut. You almost might wonder what this thing is. You're actually going to take this and push it into the receiving hole on this piece with the hinges built in. So you're going to push this from this side. So it's not going to fit in all the way. You're going to have to push a little bit, but that'll press through. I can do the same thing on there. So as you pick up these little hinge pieces that'll go on the front side of the windshield, you'll notice that on one end of it, you've got a little cutout that is cylindrical in shape. On the other end of it, it's completely flat. What you're going to do is take one of those little well nuts and push it into the end of this piece that has the cylindrical cutout. Actually, that's a press nut, not a well nut. You're going to do the same thing on the second hinge. And you're going to place that onto your original screen. You're going to place the end with the press nut downwards. So then you're going to take this backing plate and you're going to drop that into position on the back side of the windshield. Then you've got 4 lens head screws. Those 4 lens head screws are going to go on the back side of your original screen. Now, if you've got big fingers trying to handle little screws, sometimes it's a little bit easier to grab the Allen wrench. It's going to be required to turn them and actually mount this thing on the end of your Allen wrench. What that'll do is it'll make it a little bit easier to control as you're trying to get these things lined up. Usually I can't really hold on to these things with just my fingers. So you want to make this snug, but you don't want to make it too tight. Anything that you tighten too much on a plastic windshield can fracture the plastic, and that's not good. Okay, just snug. And we will repeat this on the other side of the screen. Again, you're facing that press nut downwards. And just to give you a different angle on this, you'll see that we drop the lens head screws in from the back side of the screen. Maybe I should have stuck with the original demonstration angle. Okay, so that snaps together real nice. You know, for a product that you need to drill onto your original screen, this is actually very easy to install. It's one of the most well thought out install kits that I've ever used, especially with this sticker. It just really makes things easy in a relative sense. So, last step for installation is to hook this assembly directly onto these hinges. And the last two parts in the kit are these two bolts. Now, these two bolts are going to go straight down into this once you line up the hinges. So, we're going to put the hinge pieces in a convenient orientation so all the holes line up. What you'll find is that these hinges are pretty stiff when they start out. You're not going to break them, but it will be tough to turn them at first when you don't have a whole lot of leverage on them. Little longer arm using the Allen wrench never hurts. Okay, so you'll see these two little pieces will slide right into the hinge. Okay, and you will take your screws here and the 3mm Allen wrench and drop it in. Repeat the process on the second side. Again, this is so much easier if your original screen is actually connected to your bike. And tighten that up. Once it's all tightened up, you'll be able to adjust the pitch of your windscreen and the height. Whenever these pins are facing perpendicular to the direction of the screen, you'll be able to adjust the pitch. If you flip them to the vertical position, that hinge will be locked. And the same will go for the two little arrowheads that are below. That's all there is to it. Enjoy riding and have fun with your new X-Creen.